Ken, and hi to everybody. My name is Louis. I'm the RSM for Eastern Canada, so from Ottawa to Newfoundland, and really happy today to discuss a growing product line that we have. It's the IP-A1. Unfortunately, I don't see you guys, but I would like to find out if some of you in the room have already made some project with the IP-A1. I don't know if the mic is mute in the room. I don't hear nothing. So is there any project that have been done by some of you with some IP speakers?
Not at the moment.
No? Okay.
No.
So we'll start that and we'll
I
discuss
can just
about
describe.
our IP-A1
Okay.
series overview. So we'll look at all of the products, the functions, and the network configuration, and also some application for the IP-A1 series. Um, so basically, more and more today, IT is taking under control a lot of the things that we have in life. I mean, our cell phones are IP based. Our TVs are IP based. Obviously, we're spending a lot of time connected to a computer or to a tablet. So more and more, all of the communication channels are getting um, over the IP protocol. So and with that in mind, in our business, buildings are sometimes bigger than what they were, and they have large. We have large facilities to deal with. We have multi-floor buildings, multi-zones. And basically, we want the capability to communicate with all of those people in those buildings more efficiently. Uh, so we're, yes, more a paging company. We have been a paging company, but also an intercom company for a long time. So TOA came out with the IP-A1 in order to mostly provide some network solution for paging. So in all of the facilities that we're working with, we might have different acoustical areas with different behavior for the audio, for the acoustic, and those will need different type of coverage, different type of speakers, and different type of settings. And TOA has been known for being a reliable products that will be able to work 7 days out of 7, 24 hours out of 24. um, and the IP strategy for paging is extremely flexible and will give us many capabilities with this type of project. So basically, what are some of the benefits of our product line there? Well, we claim that it can be serverless, and actually, those systems, just a little bit like our intercom, can work on peer-to-peer, like the NSP80s, SIP intercom. They can talk to each other without a server. We can achieve also this type of system with the IP-A1 device. So it's going to give you the ability to page from one device to another one directly. And also it will give you the ability to also be utilized also with servers using the SIP protocol. There's also different type of management possibility, and we'll see that through the presentation. So we have different features available to us in the IP-A1 for all of the products that we'll see. One of them being that each device will have some internal memories up to 80 megabytes that will give you the ability to store some audio file in MP3 or WAV format. Uh, we have standard protocols that are widely utilized by all kinds of communication or security technology. So we are SIP, we are ONVIF, and we do have multicast capabilities as well. It's going to give you all kind also of settings that is required for security paging, etc., like priority and volume management per zone or even per device in the IP-A1 product line. And those systems are fairly easy to configure also through a browser and through different software. This also we'll see a little bit later on. And one of the key of the IP-A1 is the ability of integrating with all kinds of other also device, and this can be done through all kind of capabilities. Mentioned that they are all SIP, so we know that IP-A1 will basically talk with any other device that is SIP, might be SIP telephony or other SIP gears like our IP intercom, the NSP80s. It will also be able to integrate and push some command to HTTP and even do some integration with an API through the HTTP protocol. And obviously, we'll have contact in and out capabilities for integration. So a look at the lineup. Basically, it's fairly simple. We have the transmitter side and the receiver side. Um, in the transmitter, we have the IP-A1 PG, the IP-A1 RM, which is a gooseneck microphone, and the IP-A1 MP, which is not really an IP-A1 device as such. It's an accessory that you can connect to certain components on the receiver side. Because even for stating that they are receiver, like all of the speakers, the IP-A1 SC15, the other horn, which is the SC15 MC, and the speakers, and the IP-A1 AF and IP-A1 PA12, most of them have the capability to broadcast in both directions, making it also a bidirectional system. So by adding the IP-A1 MP accessory, which basically is a push button, a microphone, it's also equipped with a small LED. If you attach the IP-A1 MP to one of those devices, except for the PC238 and the SC15 MC, you'll be able to have bidirectional communication. And I have to also make another note. The IP-A1 SC15MC is already equipped with a microphone. So it's already a bidirectional device with no additional microphone needed. But attaching the MP to a PC580S or a PC580R would basically create an IP intercom or a SIP intercom device. It can also be attached to an IP-A1 AF in the same fashion or an IP-A1 PA12. And we'll see a little bit further how this will work and what those box are meant to be to do in the IP-A1 lineup. Excuse me. So let's talk again a little bit about the communication protocol. So obviously we have the SIP protocol, so G711, G722, etc. For the SIP. We are on VIF, which is basically an open protocol to all of the security device like the CCTV, the VMS, and we have also multicast capability. And mentioned also earlier, we have an API that will give you the ability to integrate an HTTP with other device, control ins, control out, and this can help you to initiate a trigger for an emergency message, a trigger for a zone page, a trigger for whatever event that you wish to create. So it can broadcast, like I've mentioned, all of the device can store some audio file. So you can broadcast basically any audio file that is stored over the system. You can even do some paging directly from SIP telephony if you have a SIP server. You can utilize it on peer-to-peer also with other SIP device like our NSP80 MS1 and very soon the MS2 master station. And basically there's tons of capability for zoning and creating the broadcast pattern that you wish. Well, to give you an example of what we can achieve here, we have basically a computer that is basically attached to the IP-A1 system and is broadcasting background music. And since we have also the Opus protocol that is embedded in our device, the audio quality now is fairly good. We are getting closer to the analog audio resolution with this codec. So we have multicast capability that can give us the ability to page a group of device or a group of boxes and a group of zone if we need to. We can do peer-to-peer in SIP mode like it's illustrated also over here. So it's a system that is fairly simple for integrators to install. So all the IP-A1 device are PoE and is a single run from the switch to the device. So as we can see there, we have on top a direct SIP paging illustrated by a SIP phone and a single speaker. We can have also this type of scenario with an IP-A1 AF that is attached to an amplifier and that will distribute over a group of speakers. And we have the small IP-A1 PA12 that is basically the same box as an IP-A1 AF, but has a built-in 12 watt, 70 volt amplifier. So you can attach directly to the IP-A1 PA12 some 70 volt speakers directly to the box. The PG basically is the box that will give us the ability to manage all the multicast capabilities of the system. So it's gonna be synchronizing, if you want, the paging. So there is no latency to all of the speakers, and creates an intelligible page at the in the facility. But the PG also have other function. It will also give you the ability to use our scheduler, and we'll talk a little bit more about that in a couple of slides. On the right side, we can see that with the ONVIF protocol as well, um, we can be managed, if you want, by a VMS. So basically, Genetec, as an example, can take over all our endpoints and manage them. So security center would become a big master, if you want, in order to talk to those systems. It can also integrate a camera directly to a speaker, like a horn, if you want. And let's say that they're doing motion detection. If it camera is sensing motion, it can open up at the same time the channel of the let's say a horn speaker like the IP-A1 SC15, and the security agent at the VMS can directly from a station talk to the people in front of their cameras. So like I was mentioning, the PG is a powerful box in the IP-A1 product line, as it will manage all of the multicast capability of the system. The IP-A1 RM basically, excuse me, is the same box, but on top has a gooseneck microphone attached to it, and also some keys in order to call some preset. It might be initiating a page for a zone. It might be broadcasting directly a recorded message wherever that it was programmed to be broadcast. And you have the ability also to record a message and monitor it before broadcasting to make sure that the content is valuable. So you record it, you can monitor it, listen to it, and then you can release it and broadcast it over the system. But both of them will give you the multicast capability, will also give you the scheduling functionality. So basically, scheduling is basically a calendar on which you will have, and we'll see that just right here. The calendar on the scheduling software that will give you the ability to program over 2,000 schedules to broadcast an event, to broadcast an audio file. It's let's say that with the IP-A1, we had also in mind a lot the school market. Think about school, so you can broadcast the bells of the classes. You can broadcast the national anthem in the morning automatically. So the scheduling software will be intimately related to the IP-A1 PG or the IP-A1 RM and work together in order to broadcast whatever content that you want over the schedule. Excuse me. I'm gonna take a little bit of water. The IP setting, the IP setting software is a software that is going to be used mainly while installing the equipment. So it's gonna retrieve all of the MAC address of the equipment that are on the network, and will have the ability to push all the IP address to all of the device. And other also configuration can be pushed to each of the device automatically. So it makes it even easier for an integrator to install those systems with this type of tools. More and more, today I'm on Teams, I'm talking to you, but especially in the institution, more and more, Teams is used as a communication tool every day, and this is a requirement coming a lot from the market to have integration to Teams, and the IP-A1 product lineup can do that using the CyberGate software by CyberTwice to integrate directly with Teams. So basically, Teams can become, a paging point for an IP-A1 system. So it might be there's now even some desktop Teams telephone, but also from the Teams app, you can reach the IP-A1 system and do a page to a single device or an all call or a zone call directly from IP-A1 from Teams. So let's look at some application. Digital network system. Well, yes, more and more we are living in an IT world, and we need to integrate to many, many things. Uh, SIP is not only a buzzword anymore, it's the reality. So many systems are SIP based out there that we don't have the choice to have the capability to integrate to it. By the way, SIP stands for Session Initiation Protocol, and it's giving us the ability to basically talk to out of the world to many, many other products and many other brands across the market of the audio, of the CCTV, of the telephony, etc. So it's a very powerful tool, and it gives us the ability to make some very flexible system and now in the audio world and the paging world. As you can see, and that's really the size, and there's probably some already in the showroom that you have seen, but the box are very small. I mean, they hold in the palm of your hand. So it gives also the ability to put many boxes on shelf and racks and build a pretty large system without taking too much space. You can also sit them basically a little bit anywhere close to where you need to be, as you can distribute basically this system over the network everywhere in the building. Uh, the boxes, like the IP-A1AF, PA12, PG, they are not waterproof, but they have a very wide temperature range. So they can work from -30 to +55. So if they are protected from humidity and rain and snow, they can basically be in an outside rack sitting there to integrate to a system. So it's network, huh? So basically, it makes the job fairly easy. All the device are one drop per device at the switch. Everything is PoE. Uh, it's easy to change around the system, to change a speaker of places, to add a speaker. Obviously, if you have the number of port on the switch that you need, if you need to add them or to remove some, if you have too many speakers in the zone and you wish to pull out some speakers. And obviously, all of the speakers are can be independently managed. So the inverse of the analog audio, we can determine that this speaker has to be at 0 dB, this one at +3, the other one at -5, in order to have an even coverage and an even SPL or the proper SPL in order to reach your audience and the person in the building. So we've seen it a little bit earlier. So like I've mentioned, one of the most popular device that we have, the IP-A1 SC15. We have sold now after what 3 4 years that we have them, thousands and thousands already. It's often associated to the security industry, very popular to for some VMS, and in order to give audio to a camera system, a CCTV system. So basically, the VMS with the ONVIF protocol will be able to use the ONVIF in order to communicate directly from the VMS to the horn and to associate this horn to a particular camera. And like I've mentioned, if you do motion detection, if you do license plate recognition, or even face recognition, well, you can associate the same time your camera and the horn, and you can address those people directly from the security center to talk to the person that is showing up at the gate or wherever you have associated your IP-A1 speaker to your system. Other very popular application obviously is cool, and the horns can be standalone in order to have paging in the backyard directly from a SIP phone or our SIP NSP80 masters. But it can also be part of a complete system, and it's going to be very easy to go install a couple of IP-A1 horns in the backyard in order to do paging for those schools. The IP-A1 PC 238. So as we saw in the product lineup, we have the 238, which is basically a little bit more cleaner, I would say, speaker. So maybe more appropriate for some institutional installation like healthcare, hospital, etc. They will, architecture will better fit, some nicer places than the IP-A1 PC 580s, which is a more rugged version that everybody knows. In the analog version of those speakers. So over here we're showing that it's installed in some health facilities, so hospital, clinics, waiting rooms, etc. You can broadcast background music over the system, but they can also obviously page in order to call the patient in the examination rooms or the treatment rooms, or to even also broadcast other type of messages of general interest or of security. It can be also utilized in all kind of fashion, basically just a little bit everywhere that we do already background music and paging. It might be a corporate office where you want the capability of page and broadcast background music everywhere in the office. So the PG, I've already spoke pretty much about it, but it's an important box. It's probably the most important box, especially if you have larger system and you have multicast broadcasting or multicast group or different numbers of zones over your system. The PG will give you this ability to manage all of this. So it's an important box. Also, just like all the device, they are SIP, they are on VIF, etc. So they can integrate to the VMS, as we can see, and the security pictures that we see there. So the security agent is looking at the screen. So if it needs to page, it can page, multicast everywhere through the IP-A1 PG. Needless to say that it's PoE like all of the other device. It's convenient for basically all of the application as soon as you have multicast capabilities or requirements for your system, which is basically often the case. So whatever the size of the system that you have, basically, if you have more than one speakers and need to page all, you will need an IP-A1 PG. And don't forget also that the PG will give you, like the IP-A1 RM also, the capability to use the scheduling software, which is very powerful for school, but also for industry, etc., for all kind of application where you need to schedule some audio file or bells or whatever that you need to broadcast over your system. So talking about school and scheduling, etc. Basically, we have a diagram here illustrating a little bit, how a system can be easily done with the IP-A1. So we have different groups there. Uh, we have on the top zone classroom A, B, C that are on IP speakers and common area as well. And we have the gymnasium there that has an analog system with an A800 and some F series boxes. So this one is associated to an IP-A1 AF. So basically, it's an endpoint that will convert the IP signal to analog for that box and translate this to a zone, basically an hybrid zone. And the playground or the backyard, like we were also mentioning for school application with some IP-A1 SC15. So we have a microphone that can be used there. The PG is there in order to do the scheduling, etc. And we can also associate some control inputs for emergency. Say we have a mushroom button somewhere. Someone press it, it might broadcast some kind of special code for lockdown or any messages for emergency situation. More illustrated technical way of illustrating this type of system. And here we're seeing also a little bit more the capability of the IP-A1 system to act as an intercom. We have in the bubble over here um, an IP-A1 PC580S with this IP-A1 MP, which is a push button, a microphone, and a LED in order to initiate a bidirectional call directly from the IP-A1 device. So this is wired to the control inputs and the microphone inputs of the IP-A1 PC580S, and by pressing the button, it will call a master station or a SIP phone that is going to be associated to this system, to this device here. So we can create with that schools. We can see that we have classroom 1 to 4, classroom 5 to 9 here that are all have the IP-A1 MP. So those all have capabilities of calling a master or a SIP phone. We also have the integration to Teams because more and more in schools they want to utilize Teams in order to page and communicate with all of the systems of their schools. We have the RM that is illustrate there in order to do some paging directly from a microphone and initiate different messages there. We also have our IP masters, the NSP80 VS1 over here, and we are utilizing, and that's probably at the entrance of the school, the video NSP80 and the audio NSP80. So basically, if somebody press the button of the VS1 that is here, you'll have also the image directly on um, the screen of the NSP MS1. So it makes a very complete system, and it goes up to the gym where we have a gym system there, larger with a 800, some HX5 in the gym, and the paging and the bells are going through the IP-A1 AF that is just in front of the amp. So fairly complete system for a school. Simple to integrate, simple to install, all network based, except for obviously the gym, which is an analog system. But it's a very nice and easy installation for schools. Here, another example where it's very interesting is warehouse or manufacture. Basically, we can have different zones like the office, common area, lounge, etc., and all the warehouse storage in order to do some paging. So here we have a little bit of an hybrid system because we have a DA250FH that is utilizing the analog SC630 TUs. So basically to have more power to in a warehouse that can be very noisy, we're doing an hybrid system over here to maybe also to bring the cost down a little bit. Horn is still pretty much cheaper than an analog horn. It's pretty much cheaper than an IP horn still. Uh, so we have the PG that is there that is managing all of the systems over there. We have another IP-A1 AF that is attached to a BG2035 for the office speakers and the lounge speakers, and to create another zone also of call. And the NSP80 MS1 is there also to initiate the pages and call wherever they need to page. It could be just a SIP telephone system also that would on SIP protocol talk to those systems. Any question?
Very much. Uh, can you hear that?
Yes, I hear you now.
Great, great presentation. Thank you very much. One of the components are missing in this whole picture. Recently, we had questions from some of the clients like schools looking at paging systems and TOA being a great leader in the audio world since 1934. Have you thought about third-party connection for the hearing impaired, like visual paging?
Well, we do have this type of capabilities, but with other partners.
Exactly. So
Do have you seen probably in the showroom we have some tow alert panels that are there?
absolutely. No, I just in your presentation, I thought you would have mentioned that, but I thought, in your presentation, I think it's a key element in nowadays in schools having.
It's true, it's true, yeah.
I just thought of
But
mentioning it.
definitely there is some integration capabilities between the IP-A1 and the TOA alert systems. There is also another partner which
Yep.
we're working with now called Layered Solution, or we call them internally LSI, that has also all the capabilities of doing some digital signage and associate, our IP device to their platform. So we don't have we always been an audio company,
Correct.
but we're trying to bring some partners with us with like TOA Alert, which is basically a partnership with American Time in US. But we have Canadianized the product. All the displays are bilingual as bilingual capabilities for the accent, etc. So it might be fitting the Quebec market or even the French communities in the prairies that are there to also be able to have visual signage or visual paging of what's going on in the school.
Thank you very much. No, I thought it's a mentioning it.
But no, it's not part of the presentation. It's true that we should have, illustrate that in order to have a more complete presentation. But
Understood.
already the IP-A1 is an exhaustive product line for us. It's all a brand new thinking uh, and ways of doing thing. We have been an analog company for so long, and now we're going IP more and more. Well, we've been an IP for a while, with the N8000 intercom, etc. But with the IP audio device that we have now, it's getting even more true, and the market is really pulling on the IP side. Don't know for you guys where you're located, etc. But I can see in my territory more and more IP speaker cells and projects all spec around IP device like our speakers and components.
Okay. You hear me? Hello?
Yes,
Yeah,
bonjour, hello.
okay, could you please go back to the riser diagram, please?
Excuse me?
Could you please go back to the riser diagram
Yeah, sure.
and the presentation?
Yeah. For the school, this one?
Yeah, that's one.
Yeah.
Okay. Now here, see and board.
It's cutting
uh,
in and out. I'm sorry, I don't hear you all the time.
Okay. Now
Okay.
I can see in classroom 1 to 4 and 5 to 9 we have switchers there.
Yeah.
That's me. We can connect the any switchers PoE to the main switcher in the control room. In this case, we can send different paging to every single speaker. Am
Yeah.
I right?
You're right.
So if we have 5 to 9 classroom, that's mean each speaker has own address. In this case, we can page to class number 5 separately, class number 6, whatever, up to 9.
Exactly. And as I've mentioned also, in the classroom, the IP speakers are have the accessory of the IP-A1 MP. So it's also at the same time an intercom, a bidirectional intercom. So if you press the button, it's gonna call the NSP80 MS1 or whatever device that you want to call, and you'll initiate a bidirectional communication.
That's me. The
But on
microphone.
the other side, you'll have the ability to page from Teams, from the microphone, from the master, everywhere, one speaker, a group of speaker. This is extremely flexible all the way you can create zones and groups of zones or reach only one device.
So in this case, we have unlimited paging zone.
Is there any limit, Ken? I don't think that we have think about it so far. If there is some limit, there is probably we're probably talking of thousands of zones.
Okay.
I just want to add one point. So for the multicast channel, you will have the maximum 20.
20 multicast address. So, for example, if you group the speaker like in group to 20 songs, that's your maximum address you are calling.
We have, let's say, cannot pay for number 21.
But if you have more than 20 groups, no, we can just only 20s within 20s. The maximum will be 20.
20.
Yeah, 20 multicast address, also multicast songs.
Well, it's 20. It's excuse me, Ken, but it's 20
The maximum is 20.
multicast listening address.
Yes, that's true.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you have an IP-A1 AF standing alone, it can also be a zone attached to an hybrid, to an amp or whatever. So you can have way more than this. Like the system we have designed for the hospital using the IP-A1 AF, we have like 60 zones.
When you set up the multicast address, you will set up on the PG itself. And the PG, the maximum multicast address is 20. So up to 20 address you can page. So you can group number of speakers in that particular address, and then the maximum
Yeah,
is 20.
Okay,
exactly.
now
But in
this,
one multicast group, you can have a lot of speakers.
I got it.
So
Now
you
the
can have 100 speakers in one listening group, in one multicast listening group.
Okay. Now the difference between normal public address and this IP address, the cost here and the speaker itself, not in the control area, but in the paging, normal paging, the equipment in the rack, it's more expensive than the speaker itself. Correct?
No, yes, the IP is still more expensive than analog, that's for sure.
Okay. Thank
Yeah,
you.
but the market is now so much going in this direction that sometimes there is nonsense. I mean, we're talking about we're talking about CGIPs and in Quebec with a dealer this morning or yesterday, I don't remember. And the government is have cut a lot on their budget and even on the maintenance budget of those buildings. And they are large college, but at any rate a college is now going on tender for a complete IP paging system and a complete new VMS system. So they're talking about basically millions of dollars, over $1 million project for a public institution that claims that doesn't have money to repair leaking waters in their walls. But that's the name of the game, and they want to go IP.
Dr. South.